Okay, so Toosii and Rod Wave just came out with two brand new albums. Honestly, I like Toosii's album a little bit better, not gonna lie. But either way, not a huge fan of the lyrics, but the music, the beats, the producers went crazy. They went off. Every beat was super fire in my opinion. So for this video, I'm gonna do things a little bit different. Instead of just making a straight R&B beat, let's make something a little bit more emotional, like a pain type of beat, but still adding my little flavor in there. Let's see what comes out. My first instrument, for sure you gotta go with a piano sound for these type of beats. You don't want to use like any synth type of sounds or leads or anything like that. You want to use very natural sounding sounds. I'm gonna go ahead and use this LA Custom C7 Wash. I love this piano sound. It sounds like this. It has like a nice like reverb sound in the back. Most of the pain time beats, I noticed they go for the key of D minor like this. So I'm gonna start off this melody in the key of D flat, this, then go to an E flat, then to an F minor. It's technically an F minor 7, but you don't have to add that 7th here. And just walk it back down. Same thing. Very easy chord progression, just a simple 3-chord progression. So record this and the BPM is gonna be at 130. And I'm gonna have the keys right here in case you wanna follow along. Pause the video wherever you like. Let's go. Honestly, it's that simple. Like, it doesn't get any easier than that. It's a very easy tutorial to follow along. It's 3 simple chords. I'm not gonna quantize this too much. I could have made it like an 8-bar loop here, kept going, but the chords are gonna sound very similar, so I just decided to just cut it right there. Maybe just fix these a few. Maybe extend these at the end right here, just so they can keep going, because right here we cut them right here. Sometimes the sound, it's not going to play all the way through. Those grace notes sound really nice, and then just goes back and forth. We could even chop something up right here, just boom, right there. All right, sounds good. I'm gonna go into Keyscape and add some reverb here, more reverb. Kind of didn't like that last note there actually. Duplicate this, bring the same instrument back, and then just freestyle afterwards. And for instance, do something like this. So we could just go ahead and freestyle something like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and play with both hands here and freestyle something the whole way. And then I'm gonna EQ some stuff so it won't sound so bright like this. But let's go ahead and record this in. Okay, I've got it. So what I'm gonna try to do instead of freestyling, I'm gonna just try to make a counter melody. Just make that kind of repetitive to make things a little bit easier. So let's try to make a counter melody and let's see how that works out. The cool thing about this is, doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to EQ it so much to the point where you're not going to be able to hear it so much. There's one little note that's bugging me. This one. There you go. Well, you know what? I might just take these off. Those last little 2 notes at the end. Now let's just extend them. Why not? And inside Keyscape already, I'm going to add more reverb. And I'm gonna go ahead and use another reverb to add even more reverb. And it creates kind of like another type of sound. And for this piano on the top, I forgot to EQ it a little bit too. So let's EQ this a bit. Move some of that mid section. It's a little rough. It's a little more subtle now. And I am going to add an RC20 to this piano because I want it to be a little bit more compressed and with a little bit of the vinyl sound. Take off the wobble, a little bit of distortion and magnetic. There we go. And that's it for our first part of this. Okay, for the next thing that I'm gonna add is a nice lush pad sound, just to add a nice foundation to the bottom. And I'm gonna use a stock sound inside Alchemy. It's called Alone, and it sounds like this. Whew, so lush. And also I forgot to mention, it was in the mournful section, but once you pull it up and it sounds like this, which doesn't sound bad either, but I went ahead and switched to dark. You know, Alchemy has a lot of options: thin, chopped, warm, bright. I like the dark one. Let's record this in. And I'm gonna just keep it very simple like that. And I am gonna quantize these because I want it to be a little bit more next to the grid. It's sounding very like emotional so far. I'm gonna EQ the pad a little bit. You definitely could hear it still though. And I'm gonna go ahead and stereo pan this to the right, to the left, I mean. And stereo pan this to the right. I just want to make this pan a little bit more subtle. Now everything's just kind of all mushed together, sounding super like a nice foundation to whatever, you know, is gonna happen next. Okay, so the fourth thing that I'm gonna add, and this is almost like a must for these type of beats. I don't want to say it's always like completely a must, but I hear it a lot on these type of beats, and it's a vocal sample. Luckily for me, I love to add vocal chops to everything. So this is a vocal chop I'm gonna use right here.
Heartbreak, the name of your game, always at my place.
But right now it's out of tune.
Heartbreak, the name of your game.
So we're just gonna bring it down 2 notes right here. It should be in the G minor.
Heartbreak, the name of your game.
Let's bring it up a little
always at my place. Am I a link in your chain?
It just adds so much sauce to these type of melodies. So let's go ahead and record this in.
Heartbreak, the name of your game, always at my place. Am I a link in your chain? You're just a heartbreak, guess that's my mistake for thinking we feel the same. Am I a link in your chain?
Oops, I should have extended that a little bit longer at the end. Fire vocal sample though. Let's just EQ, let's just quantize this.
Am I a link in your chain? You're just heartbreak.
Yeah, that works. So let's go ahead and EQ this. Like, it's gonna sound very nice and muffled.
Always at my place, a link in your chain. You're just a heartbreak.
And I am gonna go ahead and add like a different type of compressor here. I'm gonna just use a stock compressor actually, and I'm gonna go with the vintage VCA. Sounds nice. And go ahead and add the Hollow Vintage. And I do want this to be really reverbed up, like a lot of reverb. So I don't want the concert hall. I want kind of like the dirty plate option. And then EQ it even more here. I want it to be up here, but then also have some of that high frequencies. Because when the artist comes and sings, you could sing over this vocal melody, this vocal chop. You know, it has to make sense. It can't be just completely out there, but you got to be able to hear it also. This comes in handy because bring it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and add some delay because at the end right there, kind of has like, kind of cuts off a little bit. So let's just go ahead and add some delay here. And let's bring it over here. There we go. So with just the feedback, bring it down. Let's hear it.
Always at my place. Am I a link in your chain? You're just a heartbreak. Guess that's my mistake. You're just heartbreak. The name of your game.
Nice. All right, now let's go ahead and add some drums. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the clap. Kind of like this don't clap sound right here. And this is gonna be a very basic every other 2 bars. Nothing fancy, just straight. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the 808 already. And for this 808, I do need like a crazy, like some type of 808 that I don't normally add. I might have to go into another kit that I haven't used in a while actually. And just go with the spin sauce. Let's try this one. I'm debating whether to use the regular spins 808. Let's go with the regular spins at 808 and then let's just see how it comes out. I'm really not a big fan of the spins 808, just to be honest. I feel like everyone uses it and it just sounds so common. But for this type of beats, let's just go ahead and go with this. That's 1 bar right there, and I had to go play with the keys. And it's not knocking like that yet, but we'll get it right now. Let's see. Let's go with the second 4 bars. Trying to do something different there. I don't know. Definitely not coming out right. This just doesn't go here. It just doesn't sound right. It's better right there. Let's bring this 808 a little bit up. I'll go ahead and use this knock plugin here for the spins. The punch. A little bit of saturation. I hate that little duh. I didn't put it at the right spot for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of reverb to this clap. It sounds a little dry, so maybe like at 1% or 2. All right, when it comes to the hi-hats, I'm not gonna lie, it has to be very minimal. Just use these alive hats right here. You know what? I might just use the piano roll actually, because this might get a little tricky. I'm not gonna lie. Use probably a different hi-hats. These sound a little more like pain beats. Kind of want to do like a heavy roll in the beginning, just like with the velocity going up. This even higher than that, just from here. Then go back to like the 16 notes. I still don't know if I want these hats. Maybe these a little better. These sound a little better. Just keep going with this. Definitely not these hi-hats. Let's try these tight ones. I might have to go to another drum kit because I'm not really feeling any of these hi-hats, to be honest. Maybe these delayed ones. Yeah, that sounds a lot better actually. Let's do another, like maybe a 32 right here. Bring these hats down. This is something I don't do so much when I do R&B beats. For this is just have fun with it and make it a little different. That definitely did not work out. That sounded terrible. Go backwards. Right there, just to be more delayed. Let's go back to 16 notes. Doing the hi-hats could be a little time consuming. You don't have some ready for sure. This ain't FL Studio. Let's just see if we just repeat this. Let's put some random notes here. Yeah, that works. We'll just leave it there for now, and we'll probably EQ these hi-hats so it won't sound so crazy. And definitely want to add like an open hat, something around that. This one sounds good. I'm gonna do this open hat sometimes to hit with the 808. This is not probably the right open hat you can use with the 808s that you hear sometimes like a splash, but we're just gonna go with this one for now. Bring them down a little bit, but not too much, just so you can hear kind of in the background, give it some texture with 808s. I'll leave it like this. EQ these hats a little bit so it won't be too all over the place. And they don't have any low end, but a little bit of high end. And we're gonna go ahead and add like the famous perk that goes like hits every other time the snare doesn't hit. If you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's like a snare hit or like a rim shot. Like honestly, anything can work. Just I hate adding that. I'm not gonna lie. Let's just go ahead and add that rim shot just because it just sounds better. That's like the infamous little I don't even know what it's called, honestly, bro. Like I've just heard it always everywhere. Is it go? They might put it in the right. I don't want to put it right here like this, kind of like drill. And then right here, do it regularly, like just the regular one. A little bit more right here. Yeah, there we go. Dang. And And honestly, for these beats, you don't gotta add too many percussions. It's not like your typical R&B beats that we adding. Well, we could add the zap perk still, but we'll see right now. Let's just rearrange this beat and mix it up a little bit. And let's hear the final result in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Bless those keys, the RMC. Bless those keys, the RMC.
Okay, if you're at the deep end of this video, comment down below, deep end of the video. Let me know what you think of this beat. Like, are you feeling it? If you're not feeling it, whatever. I'm not a huge fan of pain type beats, or I love the emotion in them, but just the drums, I don't know. I feel like it's just so common to use like drums. I like to use the kick sound, which I could have used. I could have went another route, but it's your typical drum pattern or like, you know, melodies that you would make, I guess. But anyways, let me know if this video was helpful. If it wasn't, let me know as well. Hey man, stick to something else. This wasn't your thing. I don't care. I love constructive criticism. So anyways, guys, till next time, stay blessed, stay positive. God bless. Peace.